The Warbringer Ancestral Totem build is the slowest for league racing, but extremely powerful for hands-off play. It thrives on summoning a durable totem army, which is fun and safe, though setting up your damage takes time, making it less ideal for quick progression. Focused on endurance charges and totem buffs, Ancestral Warrior Totems now deal much higher damage and scale with your weapon. Warbringer Ascendancy lets you summon multiple ancestral spirits and benefits from cooldown bypassing Warcries like Warcaller's Bellow. Creates an army of totems for both mapping and bosses. Warbringer Totem players start with Ground Slam or Heavy Strike and convert to Ancestral Totem setups once unlocked. Tree priorities include totem damage nodes, endurance charge scaling, and Warcry interaction points. Link the totem to minion damage, melee physical, and elemental damage supports. Pick up a high physical DPS two-hander for better scaling, and focus on defensive gear for sustain. Boss strategies revolve around preloading multiple totems while maintaining endurance charges for maximum uptime. Fire Warrior builds using Forge Hammer and Volcanic Fissures feel impactful but play slower due to melee positioning and Warcry management. They shine more in boss fights and tanky gameplay rather than speed farming. Reworked Ignite mechanics and new abilities like Forge Hammer synergize with Volcanic Fissures for devastating slam combos. Use Warcry interactions to shatter Forge Hammer for Molten Fissures and Eruption Chains, melting bosses and maps. Kitava remains great for resistance stacking, while Titan and Warbringer offer alternatives for different playstyles. Start with Ground Slam or Molten Strike before moving into Volcanic Fissure and eventually Forge Hammer. Passive focus should be fire damage clusters, maximum life, and Warcry cooldown nodes. Link Volcanic Fissure to Pulverize, Fire Penetration, and Multi-Strike, while Forge Hammer pairs well with melee physical and elemental damage supports. Equip a strong two-handed mace or axe early, crafting fire or attack speed mods when possible. Chaos-based witch setups using Essence Drain and Contagion are reliable and safe, but inherently slower due to dot ramp-up. Their strength lies in boss stability and low gear reliance rather than fast clears, making them great for patient players. Utilizing revamped chaos spells like Essence Drain and Contagion alongside Firewall and Frost Bombs for hybrid damage and infusion synergy can easily transition into minions or leech builds later. Strong league starter for players who prefer dots and safety over raw burst. This build starts with Contagion and Essence Drain as soon as possible, then add Blight and Withered Totem for scaling through Acts 2 and 3. Target Chaos dot clusters early and reinforce with defensive life and energy shield nodes later. Essence Drain should link to Controlled Destruction, Efficacy, and Swift Affliction, while Blight supplements heavy single-target damage. Gear focuses on wands with plus Chaos skill levels and spell damage for cheap, efficient power. Poison Pathfinder is steady but not explosive early. Once poison scaling ramps up with Toxic Rain or Poison Bows, it becomes a consistent mapper with strong single-target damage, though it will lag behind elemental builds in early clear speed. A strong alternative to Deadeye for those who want more complexity and scaling. Buffed poison mechanics and quality of life changes make this build viable and strong for both single target and clear. While gear can get competitive, early progress is smoother than pure bow crit setups. Poison Pathfinder starts strong with Cobra Lash or Poison Arrow and shifts into Toxic Rain or Poison-enhanced Lightning Arrow after Act 2. Rush Chaos and Poison Clusters, projectile scaling, and life nodes for smoother progression. Toxic Rain paired with Void Manipulation and Vicious Projectiles dominates mapping, while Herald of Agony supplements single target. Prioritize bows with chaos damage or dot multipliers to accelerate leveling. Ice Ranger sits in the mid-speed category, excelling in AoE freezing and screen control. It sacrifices some clear pace compared to Lightning Arrow, but offers crowd control and defensive utility that make mapping smooth and less risky. An alternative bow playstyle leveraging the newly reworked ice skills and mechanics for big AoE control and freezes. While slightly less raw damage than Lightning Arrow, its defensive and CC-oriented style adds a safer mapping experience with solid bossing potential. Ice Ranger leveling uses Shrapnel Shot or Rain of Arrows early, transitioning into Ice Shot and Freezing Salvo for AoE freezing control. Passive priorities include cold damage, projectile speed, and critical chance. Ice Shot, linked with added cold, elemental damage, and Mirage Archer clears efficiently. Look for bows with cold damage rolls and quivers providing freeze chance and crit scaling. Witch minion builds start slower in terms of clear speed, but quickly pick up momentum after skeletal mages and specters come online. Once your army is assembled, you barely need to interact with enemies, which translates to steady and safe mapping, if not blazing speed. Skeletal storm mages and new support options let you dominate maps without strong gear. Minions got accuracy fixes and significant buffs, plus Unearth can resummon fallen allies. The build scales through gem levels, making it cheap and powerful early. Ascendancy flexibility allows hybrid play with Ignite, Chaos Dots, or Pure Summoner. This setup starts strong by summoning skeletons with minion damage support as soon as possible. After Act 2, integrate skeletal storm mages and specters, while Unearth ensures a steady army. Prioritize minion life and damage nodes on the passive tree, with spiritual aid offering added value. Key setups include raised skeletons with minion damage and melee splash for brutes, and skeletal mages linked to spell echo and added cold or lightning. Wands with plus minion gem levels or extra spirit on jewelry make leveling trivial. Unarmed Monk offers solid pace with high mobility and hollow palm scaling. While it doesn't rival Deadeye in raw speed, its tankiness and early damage consistency make it a safe yet quick progression choice for melee fans looking for a fresh experience. The hollow palm technique lets you use quarterstaff skills unarmed, gaining speed and crit bonuses from evasion and energy shield. Invoker focuses on elemental damage with buffs to meditate and energy shield recharge, while Acolyte of Chayula benefits from chaos and poison mechanics after a major rework. High tankiness from deflect and evasion makes this build safe and fun, with options for Ice Strike or Tempest Bell. Start the league as an unarmed monk by opening with basic melee abilities like Double Strike or Tempest Flurry. Transition into Ice Strike or Tempest Bell in Act 2, and path toward evasion and energy shield nodes while picking up hollow palm technique when available. Skill links should prioritize Ice Strike with added cold, multi-strike, and elemental penetration, alongside Herald setups for extra elemental damage. Gear should focus on evasion and energy shields since weapons aren't needed, and for bosses, Charge Staff and Tempest Bell provide reliable burst damage. Stormweaver Sorceress follows as the flashiest caster with new infusion mechanics. It's not as tanky, but accelerates well once Spark and Orb of Storm synergy kicks in, making it a strong choice for those who favor spell-based speed farming with minimal investment. Play the flashiest elemental caster with new infusion mechanics. Combine Spark, Orb of Storms, and Flame Wall for multi-element damage, adding Frost Bomb for cold layering. Stormweaver Ascendancy saw buffs, making infusion generation smooth. Despite being squishy early, the build scales into a powerful late-game elemental nuker. Leveling begins with Spark or Arc and adds Orb of Storms and Flame Wall for infusion synergy by Act 2. Frost Bomb adds cold layering for more infusion effects. Rush Elemental Overload and infusion mechanics on the passive tree to maximize scaling. Spark linked with Spell Echo and Lightning Penetration offers strong clearing, while Orb of Storms supported by AoE increases infusion uptime. Grab wands with spell damage and cast speed, and use a shield for extra defense early. Close behind is the Mercenary Crossbow setup, especially when leveraging galvanic shards and combo mechanics. Its burst damage and hybrid defenses allow smooth progression without heavy gear reliance, while access to ballistas or grenades gives flexibility for mapping and boss fights. One of the strongest league starters thanks to high damage even with low gear. Buffed combo mechanics like galvanic shards and reworked ballistas or grenades enable flexible playstyles. All three ascendancies offer variety, with Gemlink allowing stat stacking and Witch Hunter excelling with shotgun-style burst. Strong defenses from hybrid armor and evasion make this a well-rounded pick. When leveling a mercenary crossbow build, begin with split shot or piercing shot, and switch to galvanic shards once you unlock it. Early passives should enhance combos and reload speed, and ballista or grenade mechanics can be added later if desired. For skills, link galvanic shards with elemental damage, added lightning, and pierce, and consider adding ballista support for extra firepower. Gear should favor hybrid strength and dexterity bases for armor and evasion, while crafting elemental damage on crossbows early ensures smooth progress. For raw speed and league start dominance, the Deadeye Lightning Arrow and Lightning Rod build remains unmatched. It clears screens instantly, moves fast thanks to Tailwind, and scales easily from early bows, making it ideal for rushing maps and racing bosses. Still the likely meta choice for sheer speed and clearing power. Lightning Arrow and Lightning Rod received small buffs, and Deadeye got crazy utility with called shots and eagle eyes for infinite marks and huge crit scaling. Pair with Tailwind or Endless Munitions for top-tier clear. Competitive and gear-hungry, but unmatched for racing through content. Start with Split Arrow or Rain of Arrows, and transition to Lightning Arrow with added Lightning and Pierce in Act 2. Early tree investments should aim for Tailwind and projectile nodes, then critical scaling later. Use Lightning Arrow with Mirage Archer, added lightning and elemental damage for mapping, while Lightning Rod with elemental focus and shock multipliers handles single target. Seek bows with flat lightning and attack speed, and quivers that add elemental damage or crit chance.